Recording in progress.
Everybody, sit straight. Spine erect. Gently close your eyes. Shift your awareness to the center of the eyebrows. Take a deep breath and exhale. One more time, take a deep breath and exhale. We'll begin today's session with an opening chant. Repeat after me. Om Sahana Bhavatu. Sahanau Bhunaktu. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavaditamastu. Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Wow. Open your eyes. Welcome to the 10YEC Youth Excellence Center, the Yoga Foundation's camp. Thank you so much for investing your time. And how many of you heard this chant before? Yeah, I see. And do you know the meaning behind it? Just say whatever comes to your mind.
I know that Shanti means peace for the world, peace for those who love, and peace for us.
Peace to, actually, I love this interpretation. So peace to, number one, peace to the world, peace to ourselves, and the peace to who we love. Love it, love it. That's what a beautiful, beautiful interpretation. And so let's basically, what it actually means is, this is what is called the seeking prayer. Anytime when we are learning something, like whether it's a BrillaintPrep or when you're in a school or anything, so we actually offer this invocation. What it actually means is the teacher and the student, we are actually learning together. In fact, you invested some time in coming to the yoga camp. You want to learn something, but I'm actually going to learn more from you. Like, today you just revealed about what does that Om Shanti Shanti, the 3 P's actually invocations mean. We're all going to learn from each other. So together we're forming a partnership. And then the second line says that while in the process of learning, where we are teaming together, we want to make sure that we give our 100% effort, our mind, body, attention. That's what we want. But for that, we need to seek the blessing. And then the third one is basically says, like, in this process of learning together, may there not be any competition between us. Like when we do yoga, or when we do math, when we do SAT, hey, make sure that the other person doesn't get more marks than us, right? The only competition that happens is with ourselves, because the journey is ours. We are only progressing forward, right? And then the last one, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That's one interpretation. We always believe that there are 3 worlds around us, right? One is this body, and then there is this outer world, and then there is this inner world. So we want to make sure that there is peace everywhere, within our body and mind, within our outer world. That means peace for everybody. And then we will also do the peace for our inner world. What a beautiful seeking prayer, right? Every time when we are doing it. And so there is also one other chanting that we do, that we call the 10YEC Youth Excellence Center prayer. And again, how many of you heard Asatoma Sadgamaya? Okay, beautiful. How about we chant this, and then we'll do a small interpretation of that, right? Everybody close your eyes. Repeat after me. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrutyorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Awesome. Awesome. And then does anyone know? Please take a seat somewhere, anywhere. Did you get your mat? Did you get your mat? Where is it? Okay, please. Yeah. So, does anybody know the meaning of this? Asatoma Sadgamaya? Huh? It's a beautiful, we call this as an entrepreneurship prayer or the YEC's main anthem. So the first line says, Asat Toma Sadgamaya. Asat means untruth, the negative state. Like, if you're not feeling very good, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling sorrow, or if you're seeing any problems around, those are the things that we believe that those are not the rightful state. They're untruth. Sat means truth. Our journey in life is always to go from untruth to the truth, whether within your body and the mind. Sometimes, when we are feeling sad, what do we need to do? Yoga is one way of the thing, how you can go from untruth to the truth. Similarly, or you can play music, or you can listen to music, or you can go help others. So that's our journey, Asat to Sat. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Tamas means darkness or laziness, sadness. To light, light means being brightful, being cheerful. So by going from untruth to the truth, we actually take darkness, we make darkness into light. And then by doing that, we actually become big leaders in the world. And again, we always invoke our peace for the three worlds: ourselves, our inner world, and our outer world. Okay, so what we're going to do in today's camp is we are actually doing 4 sessions. Each session is 2.5 hours. So we're going to talk about the yoga philosophy, or how to approach yoga. What does doing yoga actually mean? We do that for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then we're going to do the yoga practice for about an hour to hour and 30 minutes. And then today we have a special event. We have a special event, and we have one of our neighbors, Stephen. I think I shared that in the WhatsApp group. One of our neighbors, he's going to come join us at 11. And we're going to do a special kind of a game, but we're going to play with some of the trees here. Does that sound fun? Okay, sound. So what I'm going to do is, just one second. What I'm going to do is, let's quickly go around. I would want each one of you to introduce yourself. The 3 things. Number 1 is, who are you? What grade are you in? Number 2 is, what does yoga mean for you? And then why are you in this class? And then when you do yoga, if you can also share a little bit about how much you practice every day. If you do, or if you already know yoga, if you practice every day, right? So I'm going to start with you.
My name is Machika. I'm in 6th grade. And I think yoga to me is just like a way to relax my mind. And I joined this class because I want to learn yoga.
Love it. Love it.
And in 7th grade, yoga to me means like peace and calmness. And I joined this class because I want to learn yoga and because it keeps you peaceful and calm.
Love it. Love it. Do you know the meaning of Akshaya? Unbounded, limitless, the one that never limits or reduces. That means, you are nothing but an infinite joy. It's cool. Do you know the meaning of Varshita? Mokshita, sorry. You know the Mokshita? Means always joyful and freedom. That's cool. Excellent. You?
I do yoga because it's calm And I got this class, I believe yoga, I understand it more.
Love it. You?
I'm in seventh grade, and I jump and yoga. For me, yoga means I become very peaceful,
Uh,
exercise.
uh,
I just class is a lot, I'm more
I see. Do you do yoga already? Sometimes? I see. Define sometimes? Define sometimes? Oh, I see.
When I was there, when I was in sixth grade, we didn't do it. I heard about this from
Love it. Do you do yoga already? Love it, love it. And a little bit about myself. I'm Srini Gurapu. I'm the CEO of a technology company called Bhuma. Bhuma is a Sanskrit word. It means limitless, fearless. That's our true identity, right? As kids, we are here to learn about more and more things, and we can conquer whatever the dreams that you have. That's what Bhuma represents. And previously, I was a vice president at Apple, one of the divisions at Apple. And I've also been part of building 7 successful startups. How many of you know startups? Startup means small company. We build something and then we make it, try to make it big, right? So in fact, the companies, what are the companies that you know about? Some companies that you admire? Apple. What else? Samsung. Yes, exactly. Does your dad work there? I see. Okay. I'm saying there is a Samsung TV right there, right? So, but again, all these companies, Apple, Google, Facebook, Instagram, and what are the companies? At one time, they were small companies with only 2 people, 5 people, 10 people. Now they have like hundreds and thousands of people. That's what a startup is. When somebody, like again, Asat to Sat, somebody has a small opportunity in the where they found that there is a problem, and then they go solve it and build a big company, right? And then I've been doing yoga since 2009 now. There are probably very few days in the past 13, 14 years that I miss doing yoga, right? And in fact, sometimes, when I travel on the planes, you would actually see me teaching me yoga to the flight attendants. We also do yoga on the planes, right? A small funny story about my yoga journey. I call this as the seed, the need, and the deed. When I was your age, I went to a Gurukul school. How many of you know Gurukul school? In India, yeah, you know what a Gurukul school is? Exactly. So you kind of residential school, you go away from home and then you stay in a boarding school. That's literally what it is. So I was actually in a boarding school from 5th to 10th. In my school, there used to be a very big campus. Every day we were supposed to wake up at 5:30 and then go make 3 rounds around the ground and then do yoga for 45 minutes at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. Is that a good idea? Kind of? Yeah. Yeah, but as a kid, I used to hate it. I never used to like it. So they had this fantastic deal. What the deal was is if anybody volunteers to clean the restrooms, then they would get excuse, from doing yoga, right? Who would be the first person to volunteer? That's me, right? But a lot of kids wanted to volunteer for that because most people did not want to do yoga in the 5:30 in the morning, right? So in fact, I'm so thrilled that, you're actually coming here in the 6th grade and 7th grade wanting to do yoga, but I was not like you, right? And then a lot of people wanted to, volunteer for, cleaning the restrooms and this and that, right? So that was a very difficult job to get. So sometimes I used to miss those classes. There used to be in India, there used to be a heavy punishment. My physical director, he used to ask me, in the cold winter, call me. It's just like if I missed a class, he used to ask me to keep my fingers like this, and he used to have a cane, and he used to be like that, right? It used to hurt. But for me, this pain was much simpler than getting on the mat and doing yoga. So that was me. That was me, right? Because I did not understand the essence of it. Nobody taught me the yoga. It almost felt like a physical exercise, and then I have to bend my body this way, that way. And then I was very lazy. I did not understand the essence of it. But then in 2007, and as I progressing, my life, then I realized that, in today's world, we are all being asked to do too many things. Like, for you guys part of BrillaintPrep, you need to score, good SAT, and then you need to get into good college and all these demands, right? How do we stay calm? How do we stay, our body? And then there is also more temptations. There is donuts, there is pizza, there is, Coke and Diet Coke. And now I've been reading about some tools like Instagram and all these things. Everybody wants your attention. So how do we keep ourselves balanced in all these things, right? So that's when I understood the essence of it. Since I understood the essence of it, then I started practicing. Then I call that as the first one is the seed. Then the second phase is need. I did not realize the need until much later, whereas you guys are much more smarter now. And then my deed started. But the deed is, like, for the past 13, 14 years, I've actually been practicing almost every day. And then what we also know is, sometimes we take yoga as a part-time job, right? That's something that we do for 30 minutes and 40 minutes, for some of the things. But what we are going to see is yoga is about how we approach life, how we celebrate life. How do we accomplish these things? Your name?
Om.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Fantastic. And what grade are you in? Huh?
10th grade.
10th grade. Have you done yoga before?
Yeah, I've actually done a month of yoga.
I see. What does yoga mean for you?
It's more of like stretch or exercise before I do a main exercise routine.
Love it, love it. So what I'm going to do is, let's actually quickly look at what does yoga actually mean, the philosophy behind it. So this is a nonprofit that I started 3-4 years ago, and I've been teaching yoga based on my journey. Now, yoga is something that I do even in my board meeting, in my office meetings, something that I actually try to do with me almost all the time. So we already talked about the seeking prayer and then our YEC prayer. We're going to come back to this in later. So what are we going to do in this in the yoga camp? The key philosophy, what does yoga mean? So we're going to talk about that. Today we are going to talk about what and why yoga. Why do we need to do yoga? And then tomorrow we're going to talk about the holistic 8 limbs. And in fact, we will have at 11 a.m. we are going to do a small game that is going to talk a little bit about this. There are about 8 different dimensions, 8 limbs of yoga. And we'll talk about that. And then, not many people practice yoga every day and everything. And Patanjali, the sage Patanjali, we're going to talk about him in just a moment. Patanjali came up with why people don't practice yoga. He even had that beautiful insight, and he came up with like 9 obstacles. And then he also gave some small techniques. And then we're going to, and if you have some time, we're going to practice a yoga dance after we do that. So we're going to talk about theory for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then we will, today the weather is very good. So we're going to go outside and then do yoga on the outdoor deck. And then if we have some time, we'll also try to do a 5-minute yoga dance. We're going to take some of our best, yoga postures, and then we're going to put it to a nice music. And then we're going to show everybody what that 5 minutes of yoga dance is going to look like. Is that a cool idea? Yeah. So, okay, let's actually, before we do that, how beautiful that posture is. So that is Sriram Sarvottam. He's a Dr. Sriram Sarvottam. He is my guru. He taught me the philosophy of yoga. And his wife, Ekaji, we call her. And look at how beautiful that they've done. It's perfect symmetry. So whatever I share with you in terms of yoga philosophy, to me, that is bestowed upon me by them. So I'm always eternally grateful for Sriramji and Ekaji. So I would love to invite all of you for July 4th. We are actually doing how many of you watched the Frisco fireworks? So we have a beautiful view from this, the land. So a lot of people come here to watch the fireworks directly from here. And we also have a big celebration on July 4th. So I would invite all of you to come join us for the July 4th celebration, where we can do the fireworks. And then you'll also get to meet Dr. Shriya. Right? We are doing a special event with him. Okay, so Sage Patanjali is one of the, we call him as Rishis. Rishi means the learned people. So he actually composed all of the yoga philosophy into what we call as 196 aphorisms. Aphorisms are very small text. They're like, 3 words or 4 words, but they pack with all kinds of knowledge, eternal knowledge. And this sage Patanjali is known to give to the humanity 3 things. One is the yoga knowledge, and he also invented the field of medicine. It's called Ayurveda. And then the third one is he composed grammar for Sanskrit. So one person who actually taught us how to talk, taught us how to keep our body healthy, and then keep our mind pure. So that sage Patanjali, we sometimes offer invocation to him. I'm going to say this, and what it essentially means is for that. Yogena chittasya padena vacha malam shariram cha vaidyakena vyopakarotam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. For that sage who gave us the yoga knowledge, for that sage who gave us the Ayurveda field of medicine, and for that sage who gave us the language, how to compose language, we offer our salutations. So now let's actually get into what is yoga. We all talked about yoga is stretching, yoga is how to keep calm. When Patanjali defined what does yoga mean, the first aphorism that he did is, in Sanskrit, it's called Atha Yoga Anushasanam. What it actually means is, Anushasanam means self-discipline. He didn't really say, do a headstand, put your head down and put your legs there. The first thing that he basically said is, yoga is all about cultivating discipline. Discipline. Today, we're all having in the world, I want to be free. I want to be away from my parents. I want to be away from my teachers, because we believe that is freedom. But on July 4th, when we celebrate Independence Day and the freedom, we actually do a big topic on this, on the freedom. The best freedom and the joy. Freedom means what? Why do we want to be free? Exactly. What it means is difficult to imagine. That means we want to be happy. We want to be joyful. The true freedom is we want to be joyful. That is being freedom, and free of suffering, free of pain, free of pain. A lot of people get back pain. And then what do we need to do? You have to do some back bends. So if you want to avoid pain and suffering, you have to inculcate some discipline. You have to do some exercise, right? So, the other thing is, we are all, as human beings, we are always seeking happiness all the time. And then, like last camp, my daughter was here, my younger one, right? And I asked her, what does happiness mean for her? I wish I could get 2 donuts in the morning and then some black coffee, right? And then that was her happiness. But if you look at that happiness, okay, 1 donut is good. 2 donuts are good. What if you want to add 3 donuts? Does it make you happy? And what if you add 4 donuts? It gives you pain, right? Same thing with pizza. 1 pizza slice is good. 2 pizza. But what if you want to eat the whole large, extra large pizza? It gives you pain, right? So in life, most of the things, if you want to watch TV, how much TV can you watch? After some time, your head hurts, your mind hurts, right? So what it actually says is, in life, we get the beautiful happiness when you incorporate discipline into it by doing exercise. So that's what Patanjali said. Yoga is not about doing anything. going and eating donuts, going and eat pizza, going and watch TV. He basically said, Ata, now you tried all these things. You realize like eating more donuts is only giving you a problem. Watching more TV, it's only going to do this. Watching more social media, it again makes you cry. He basically says like, use the path of yoga. Then that gives you happiness. If you, let's say if you're meditating, right? If meditating gives you, how much time can you meditate? You can do for a long time. If you like, doing yoga, you can actually be there in a long time. So that's the first one. The first important thing is incorporating a discipline every day. That actually gives you the best joy. Taking care of your body. If you don't exercise, what happens? At some point, this body becomes a pain for you. Right? So it's all about discipline. And then the next one, yoga is all about, you said keeping ourselves peaceful. Why are we not peaceful? Because of the mind, right? In yoga, in the YEC, I have this entire thing. How many of you know Vivekananda? Yeah, that's beautiful, Akshaya. Mokshita, you know Vivekananda? So this dude right behind me, right? So I call everybody dude because I'm from California, actually, right? So dude is a cool thing, right? We call this. Now I'm going to teach some fun thing, actually. So Vivekananda said our mind is like a monkey. Always jumps around. Then he said like, no. It's not a monkey, but it's a drunken monkey, right? It jumps even more. And then he says like, no, it's not even a drunken monkey. It's a drunken monkey bitten by a scorpion. Now how it behaves, right? So your mind is always putting all kinds of thoughts. And then sometimes it's like, when we are in the class, then, we are actually talking about, they might be thinking like, what's going to be for lunch today, right? We are here, but it's like, what about in the evening, right? What about tomorrow? Am I going to get 2 donuts, at least, So, I mean, I'm just making it up, but, our mind, you just hear, but it can go all around the universe. And sometimes it thinks about something and it basically says like, oh man, what happened day before yesterday? That was a very sadful thing. I don't know whether I'm going to get good marks, 2 days from now in my test. And then that's going to make us unhappy. Nothing happened. We are here nicely sitting in a ranch and a beautiful thing. But suddenly it gave you a thought of something, whether it was going to happen or not. And it's going to make us unhappy. So mind is this stuff. So everybody open up this 5 fingers. In the YEC. So what we talk about is our mind operates in 5 different states. So we call this pinky finger as a monkey mind. Always jumps around. Right? One thought from here to there, right? This is a monkey, right? Pinky and monkey, nicely rhymed. And this 4th finger, we call this as a donkey mind. Donkey is like, what do donkeys is like lazy, it doesn't want to do it. Or I'm like, I'm not good for anything, I'm not good, I cannot do this. I'm always, other people are unhappy or I'm always unhappy. This is a donkey. And then this 3rd finger, we call this as a butterfly mind. It has a beautiful, sometimes it actually flies, momentary exuberance, but again, it falls back to being a donkey or a monkey. Right? It doesn't stay at one place. It nicely, beautifully flies, and again, it stays dormant at some place like a donkey, or again, it tries to go somewhere. Right? This is a butterfly mind. So in our entire yoga, if somebody says what yoga is, it's about shedding these monkey, donkey, and butterfly. Now, what are we left with? These 2 fingers. This finger, we call this as a pointed finger. Ekagra mind, one pointed, focus. And this finger is thumb, mastered and harmony. It's about keeping our mind focused and in harmony and mastered. So that whatever the thoughts that you want, we are in control. We don't let other thoughts come and rule our world. Right? So that we know if you want to be sad, we want to invoke sadness on ourselves. Hey, we should sit down and there's like, hey, let's experience sadness. That's a beautiful way of doing it. Today, what happens? We go watch a movie and that guy makes us cry. Why do we want to give the control to somebody else? If I want to be, sad, and if I want to cry, I want to be able to invoke that emotion. by myself. Yoga is about getting control of our mind. So in YEC, you always see me and all the kids and everybody, we always do like this. Why? Because we are focused and harmonious mind. And since we are dudes, right? A little bit of cool people, we also make some nice sound effects like this. Like this to make it more fun. Should we all do this? Like everybody. No monkey, no donkey, no butterfly. What is this? Focused and harmonious mind. This is the secret to excellence. This is yoga. And we do it with sound effects. Like this. Like this. Right? This is cool, right? Right? So everybody, we can actually do something like this. Right? So Lavanya Garu, when you have some time, get some pictures so that we can actually do that, right? So that's the yoga. Namaskaram, Gopi Garu.
The kids, I brought the kids to pray.
Now, welcome. Namaskaram.
Maybe you can take seat.
Yeah. We were just talking about what does the Namaskaram mean. So we were just talking about, so by the way, this is Gopi. Please introduce about yourself.
This is Gopinath. I'm a physical therapist and I have worked with sir. And I'm very glad that you guys are all here to get started with this one. Okay, good luck.
Yeah. And actually, if you ever get into engineers, he is the man. As a right across Richwoods, he has a therapy fit. And that's a big thing. And you want to talk about, introduce yourselves?
Yes, Salman. Bigger. Introduce yourself. And this is my older daughter. She is Ritika Tripathi, and that's the younger one, Bhavika Tripathi.
I see.
Yeah, they got a starting problem, but they will get along.
I see. Excellent. So we just talked about this in yoga. We basically organize our minds in 5 stages. This is a monkey mind, always jumps around. And this is a donkey mind. It's always thinks about lazy, or it always gives a negative talk. I cannot do this, I'm sad and this. And this middle finger, we call this as a butterfly mind. It has a momentary exuberance, but it again falls back being a monkey or a donkey. So what we do in yoga is we shed these 3 minds. And then we are left with these 2 fingers. This is a focused and harmonious, ekagra mind. And this is a mastered and harmonious mind. And this is what yoga is. Always staying our mind in focused and harmony. We always do this. And everybody, let's do this. Secret. This is the secret to excellence. Like this. Right? And then we do it with, because we are fun people, we always do some sound effects like this. So this is our true nature. We always want to be fun, joyful, happiness. Don't give control to a donut or a pizza or a TV or social media to give happiness. We are in control of our happiness. Let not get the donut the power of it. Right? If you want to eat donut, let's go enjoy the donut. But that's it. But donut should never, it's like, Srini, please come and eat. That's what today everything does, right? Movie calls you and social media, Facebook calls you. Everybody is like, please come. Now it is like, no. I'm going to get you whenever I need. Right? We be the masters, focused and mastermind. So what happens when you are in the focused and harmonious mind? Then your mind essentially becomes almost like a surface of a clear lake. Surface of a clear lake. There is no dirt. There's no negative thoughts. Now, when that is there, there's beautiful pictures, right? Then when you go to a clear lake, did anybody go to Lake Tahoe or other clear lakes? Sometimes when you go there, what happens? You can see through. In fact, when your mind is like a filter. When that filter is very clean, focused and harmony, then you can actually see through it. And we can see the entire depth. And when you see the entire depth, what do we get? Happiness. Because happiness is nothing but, we are all nothing but divine forms. We can actually see the divinity within us. So from that point onwards, when we operate from the focused and harmonious mind, whatever we say, whatever we do, whatever we think, they all have divinity attributed to them. And they all want to have excellence, like, you said, Akshaya, which is more like, excellence is for ourselves, people that we love, and for the entire world. So yoga is about designing excellence in the world and to invoke, to realize the divinity. And that's what Patanjali said, Tada drastuhu swarupe avasthanam. Our true self, swarupe means our true self. Today, we all think that we are very small, tiny beings. And that's why we have pain here, or I need to. But when we keep our mind focused and harmonious, we actually see the true divinity within us. Tada dastuhu swarupe avasthanam. So that's basically, and then the beautiful thing here is, there are a couple of other things about yoga. The other, one of the definition that we say is, yoga karma kaushalam. No matter what you're doing, whether you're sitting in the BrillaintPrep class, or whether you are in your own regular classroom, or whether you're learning piano or doing swimming, skillness in action, pursuing excellence is yoga. And how do you get that? Only when you organize your mind to be focused and harmonious. Otherwise, your mind is distracted. This energy is leaking in different thoughts. Donut, pizza, and all that stuff, right? But we again, once we bracken, then we can actually demonstrate skillness in action. And then samatvam yoga uchyate. What it means is, maintaining some kind of an equanimity in difficult situations, like what you all said. How can we be peaceful in difficult situations? That's again another definition of yoga. Then yoga is the one capability. What it does is, the more you do, in fact, the more harmonious that we become, the more capability that you actually gain. This is a beautiful track, which is like, the more you practice, the more you harness the power of the mind, the more your capacity to do more things. How many of you know Alex Honnold? There's a beautiful documentary. Alex Honnold is one of the biggest rock climber. And how many of you been to Yosemite? Yeah? You've been to Half Dome? It's a beautiful place, right? But then the face of it is just like real flat. Now this dude, Alex Honnold, without using any ropes, he climbed up. Rock climbing. He just did it with his hands. How did he do that? So just imagine when he's actually climbing, this free climbing, the flat face up, right? And then Half Dome is all granite rock, right? But he's like climbing. Just imagine what would his state of mind be? If he had one doubt, what if I'm going to make it or not? Right? But that mind is like fearless, focused, like skillness in action, just focused on harmony. No fear and no other thought. He's not going there, which is like, okay, after I do this, what are they going to feed me? That is not there. He's only focused on what step, where he is, and how to do it. And then sometimes the wind comes too. But again, if the wind comes, he's like, oh man, and I started my trekking when there was no wind, and suddenly there is a wind that came in. It just calibrates that. Okay, wind came in, do the new calculations. What does he need to do? How does he balance? That's how he actually climbs. So the more harmonious you do it, the nature, the universe gives you more powers to even go conquer Half Dome. We have that capability. Each one of you, each one of us have the capability to go achieve whatever we want to do. And the yoga is that power. Yoga is the power. If you guys want to get, admission into whatever the school, or if you want to get a perfect score, yoga is one of the capability. If you want to win a race or marathon, you can actually do that, right? So that's about the theory of the yoga. So now let's actually get into some action. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some yoga practice. Now, how many of you want to do yoga outside versus inside? Outside? Okay, let's actually go do that. So everybody, please get your mat, and then we'll all go outside, and then we'll start practicing.